and turn it into meaningful words. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. As we go along, I want you to be able to take a tolerance or a feature control frame and turn it into words. There's sort of a theory that until you can say something in words, you don't understand it. And I believe that. So the ability to take something like that, just like the ability to go to Egypt and read hieroglyphics and turn it into words that mean something for you. You know, this hieroglyphic says, don't go beyond this wall or it's all your life is worth. Well, I'm glad somebody read that to me, and you're going to be glad that you'll be able to read the information in here and turn it into words. It's very useful. On a day-to-day basis, I talk with engineers over the phone with a drawing, and as long as we have the same drawing and I can express what a tolerance specification like a feature control frame means, he and I can communicate. Until you can do that, you're not communicating and you're going to misinterpret something. At this point, what I'll say is that in GD&T, there are really two sides, really two different GD&Ts. There's the GD&T for the engineer, the GD&T for putting the controls on the drawing, and then there's the GD&T for taking the information off the drawing and turning it into something. And you have to look at GD&T differently from depending on which side of that division you're on. We're going to focus largely on assuming that the GD&T is given to you by a feature control frame and you're going to try to take it off. If I train this to engineers, I talk a lot more about the other aspects of the tolerance zone and what the tolerance zone information means to the design. So again, this focus will be strictly on taking information off, not really building these feature control frames. Okay, so we've covered symbols a little bit. We've talked about coordinate systems and how we move in them with degrees of freedom, how there's a lot of different coordinate systems, Cartesian, polar, rectangular, bunch of different map coordinate systems. We're really ready now to step into GD&T, and our next video will be exactly that. We will talk about form controls and how the relatively simple feature control frame is used. I know if you look at your cheat sheet, there are a lot of symbols that we haven't covered. The fundamental controls, obviously I want you to know those. As we go along, we will introduce all those other symbols and explain what they mean. Now again, I'm going to assume that certain of the symbols you're familiar with, some of them on the cheat sheet, symbols like this, symbols like this, symbols like this, this. There's another one that looks like this. And if you're in the machine trades or have been in the machine shop, these will look familiar. This is a reference. This is a counter bore. This is a countersink. This is a diameter. This is a spot face. You don't need to be, I'm not going to hold you responsible for all of that. If you're wondering about those, you can obviously look those up on the internet. A counter bore is for a feature to sink a head of a fastener. Likewise, a countersink for a flat-headed fastener. A spot face is just a lightly machined area to give you a flat surface. And of course, you know what a diameter is, and a reference goes back to our blueprint reading days. That means a tolerance is not shown here, the tolerance is somewhere else. That's what a reference dimension is. Okay, so don't fret about all of these symbols. Just know the control symbols, 12 or 13 of them I think, and you should know those by heart, know them, what they look like and what they're called, and go back and forth. Again, each one of them has some real subtleties to it. That's what the class is going to be about, is learning those subtleties. Okay, I'm going to end this video here at this point, and the next video will be talking about tolerances of form. If you have the book, great, go ahead and read that chapter. I think you're going to see that now when I said that it's kind of a tough read, it is sort of a tough read, but if nothing else, and this is why I like to teach out of the standard itself, is the pictures are great. The pictures are as clear as they could be. The writing that goes with the pictures, not always as clear as it should be, but if you look at the pictures and just understand what those pictures are telling you, you're going to be well along your way to understanding GD&T. If you don't have the book, don't fret about that either. And the handouts, I'm going to photocopy or jack off the internet any of the pictures that would be in the standard and put them in a cheat sheet so that you do have them. If you look at the symbol cheat sheet that I gave you, all of that was just copied off the internet. So you should be able to get through at least the lecture portion without having the book by your side. Obviously, when you're trying to understand something at a more deeper level, you will have to go to the standard to study it a bit. And like I said, it's a bit of a slog, but that's why I want you to have the standard. Okay, stand by. We'll be heading into tolerances of form on the next video.